Welcome to Hope for Humanity. And my name is Rabbi Smith. As the Jewish people were entrusted with the divine mission to bring God's message of hope and truth and God's love for humanity to all of mankind. And here we are today to bring this message directly to you. We were talking in another episode about the plague of the serpents in the book of Numbers. And what the solution was. The solution was that God commanded that the people be brought in a way of looking up at a copper snake, which was not the healing agent itself, but the return to God, the one God of all of creation, was the solution. But the question is, what led to this plague in the first place? Why was there a plague of snakes? And it's really wondrous to take a look at what the Torah tells us as to what happened. After having been miraculously taken out of Egypt and led through the desert in many miraculous ways, and of course there was the splitting of the Red Sea, the miracle of the splitting of the Red Sea. There was the miracle of the man, the divine food that was provided from heaven, and the miraculous water, miraculous well, spring that was provided. The Jewish people came to Moses and said, we're tired of this. Why did you take us out of Egypt? Here we are wandering through the desert. We're eating a food that doesn't really feel like a food because we don't get full from it. It's just absorbed into our system. And all this was just, why weren't we just left in Egypt? It would have been better than being here, left to die in the desert. And that lack of gratitude, the lack of recognition of the great gift of life that we have, and the great gratitude that we have for every breath that we have is something that led to this plague. This is what led to the plague. And we have to take this to heart because we are gifted with breath at every minute. Sometimes we think if we have the things we want, the external things we want, then therefore we'll be grateful. And if we don't have them, then we're complaining and we're kicking and complaining against the things that we don't have. But the reality is, as King David said in the book of Psalms in chapter 150, every breath, every soul, which the same word in Hebrew for soul is the word for breath, every breath, every soul, every moment is a praise of God. And therefore, when we recognize that, when we feel from every breath we're taking, every breath we're exhaling, the gratitude to our Creator, to the one God Almighty, then that is not only creating a relationship between us and our Creator and showing appreciation and gratitude for what we have, but it's creating a different life for ourselves because we're now filled with that feeling of and recognition of that gratitude. And really the entire history of the world, and especially how it's recorded in the Bible, is a record of the forces of gratitude versus the forces of ingratitude. And what we need to do, and every human being needs to do, is to learn these lessons. And we all get off track sometimes. We all feel that things are not going our way. We all feel that things are not the way we want. But that's why it's as simple as a breath to let us know and remind us that the living Spirit of God is the Spirit that is creating us. Our actual physical existence is divine energy. This is God Almighty enclothed and invested in every single part of creation. God also transcends all of creation. So God is not limited in the created world, but God is also creating the created world at every instant. And this is what we can recognize in the hope that we can have, that we can share this gratitude with other people, and our gratitude for the people around us, for our family members, for our children, for our community, for the other people in the world, and for all the good that we have. This gratitude is contagious, and that's the real hope. When we're grateful, our entire experience of life changes, and we are able, this is not a mirage, this is not an illusion. In fact, when we are able to quiet our minds, or let our minds be quiet, we will be in touch with the greatness of the simplicity of every single breath. And with that every single breath, we will praise the one God of all of humanity, the God of all of creation, the God of everything that has ever existed and everything will exist. And we wish you an excellent day. If you feel this message would help uplift someone else, feel free to share it. And if you'd like more messages, please subscribe below.